Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I've got an exciting video here today. So look, I woke up this morning, was doing my little morning routine, drinking some coffee before starting work, and yeah, I happened to open up Marketplace just to browse, just spur of the moment on a whim. Open up Marketplace, very first listing I see, it says just listed. I see $150, and the ad is consoles, video games, just a bunch of stuff. It was a little bit unclear exactly to see what was in the listing entirely because there was only a couple of photos and the description was, very poor. But I saw this. This is, an entire big box. And I saw a couple of pictures of what was inside. And one of the items, I was like, okay, well, I really hope that it's that, because that's going to be worth some money. So yeah, $150. There's 4 consoles and a bunch of games in here, and I just knew I had to jump on it. So I messaged that person right away. I was like, look, okay, I'm on my way. I'm like 25 minutes away. Don't tell it to anybody. I'll be there with cash very shortly. And yeah, you know what? A lot of this stuff is a little bit dirty. Some of it might not even work. It looks like this has been sitting in someone's basement for like 30 years. And, we'll get into it. Some stuff is better than others in here. But let's just go ahead. I'm going to show you what's in this massive box here. I don't think I can lose. Obviously, this is for resale. I'm not keeping any of this except for maybe like 2 things. For example, there's just a piece of paperwork that's in here. It's this Eternal Champions poster from Sega Genesis. And then on the back of it, see, Eternal Champions. Really cool, decent game for the Genesis. But then on the back is like all the Sega procs and stuff like that. So look, this is just a cool little piece. I might end up keeping this, but as far as the games and whatnot, I'm not really looking to keep anything from there. But all right, let's just get into it. I'll show you the consoles first. So I'll just move a couple of these things aside. And yeah, so we go console first. So nothing special, a Sony PS1, a regular PS1. It looks like it's in okay condition. When I hit the open button, sometimes the tray sticks open, so you gotta slap it down a little bit. But you know what? It could be modded. If it's modded and it plays burned games, which I can test because I got some burned games on my own modded system, could be $100. If not, hey, there's still some value here and there's some games to go along with it. We also have this Super Nintendo. And this, okay, there's some fading on the, some yellowing of the plastic on the front here, but this top of this looks like brand new. And I know it's not anything to do with dirt or smoke or whatever, like people like to think, it's UV, it's the plastic itself, changes color, but you can tell that this was covered up and did not get a lot of exposure and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and guess this works. Obviously I'm gonna test it. I do have, everything to test things out, so that's fine. But yeah, Super Nintendo, if that's working on its own, that's an easy $75 to $100. So we have a regular NES. Now this one does have some yellowing, and as you can see, it's missing the front flap. That's not a big deal. If this one works well, because mine is a little bit fussy, and the, say you jiggle the cart a little bit sometimes, the pin needs to be replaced. And if it works well, I might actually swap it out and change the shell and keep this one and sell the other one, because people don't mind buying them and having to replace the pins. And it just saves me something to do. So, all right. And then the 4th console in here is the Sega Genesis, which on its own is not a lot of money. But this is the Model 1, which is cool because you don't really see these ones as often, I don't find. As the Model 2 definitely seemed to be the more common one. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and obviously I gotta test everything out. There's some sticky buttons and whatever. I'll probably have to take things apart, clean it out a little bit. I don't mind doing that at all. And all right, let's just see what else is in here. There's a couple of PC games in like really crappy condition here. Battlefield 1942 and World at War. I doubt these are worth the box they're in. That's okay, it's fine. You know, they're in there. I'll start with these Sega games that are off to my side, and I moved out of the way to get to the consoles. So we've got this Dungeons & Dragons Warriors of the Eternal Sun. It looks like this game could be worth like $60 or $70. It's complete, it's got the manual in there. Yeah, nothing's in like great shape, but still, you know, there's probably a good 60 to 70 here, and in this condition, if I wanted to sell it a little quicker, or if someone offered me like 50 bucks, I would take it. So there's that. Let's make stacks behind me here, I guess. We've got some sports games, just NHL hockey, Tommy Lasorda baseball, and Pat Riley basketball. You know, these are like $5 games. So, you know, these get loaded up with a console or something, or going a lot together. Oh, we got some more just random paperwork here. We've got like Sega Genesis instruction manual. Another piece of thing, I like talking about the various controllers and stuff. Just another little piece of paperwork that, you know, isn't really worth a lot, but it's just kind of cool that it's in there. Randomly, the manual for columns. And yeah, so, I mean, nothing crazy there by any means, but then we do also have Sonic 2 complete in the box, and another hockey game in like really poor condition, but actually I've got some spare cases, so I can switch that over, but it might not even be worth it. Just another Hockey 93. So obviously the Dungeons & Dragons game is the big one there. And then Out of This World, just loose cartridge. This is another probably like $20 to $25 game. So just between this and the Dungeons & Dragons game, you know, there's at least, if I'm like even kind of half giving them away, like $60 to $80 worth of games there. So that's cool. There's only a couple of Super Nintendo games. There's Super Slam Dunk, which I think is just a really cheap basketball game. I mean, I'll look it up because, I mean, obviously there's the chance that it's some random rare basketball game that's worth a bunch of money. Probably not. And then, you know, the classic Super Mario World. So those are the only two Super Nintendo games. Nothing special there. There were a few PlayStation games. There was also, and like some of this stuff is kind of grimy. I've got lots of extra spare cases and stuff, so I will be moving stuff around and, you know, switching cases and whatnot. But surprisingly, or just strangely, there's Star Wars: A New Hope soundtrack CD in there. Okay, for whatever reason. Then there is Missile Command for PS1. Again, I don't know anything about that game. I don't know if it's, you know, expensive or anything. I don't think, but you never know. There's missing the cover, but Invasion from Beyond for PS1. Oh, it looks like I found one of the discs for that PC game. We've got Twisted Metal 3. I think this is about a $20 game. It's not in great condition, but again, I can swap out the case. And then we've got Oddworld Abe's Exodus, and that's a 2-disc one, so unfortunately I will have to leave it in this case because I don't have any duals spares, but I think this is also around a $20 game. So, I mean, honestly, the PS1 stuff isn't much here, but like, even if we were talking $10 a game, we've got $50 worth right there. And I think that's a pretty conservative estimate. Yeah, that's a pretty conservative estimate. So consoles, you know, assuming they're working consoles, maybe there's like, you know, 75 for the Super Nintendo, 75 from the Nintendo as well, though maybe not without the flap there. Even like 50 bucks if it works. The Genesis, they don't get a ton of money, but maybe I get 25 for that, 25 for the PlayStation unless it's modded. I mean, we're looking at, what, 150 to 175 in the consoles, 50 there, we'll call it 225. easily another $100 here. We're at $325, so you know we're doing good so far. We got more in the box. All right, well, I'll save that one for last, I think, as far as the games go. So we got a stack of regular Nintendo games here, and so this was one of the things that I was able to see. And I don't know what all of these games are worth, but I don't think any of these are like huge, but I could be wrong about that. But we've got, they all have their cases, which is cool, which is one thing I noticed. So I thought everything was going to be in much better condition, but you know, as you can see, like it is really grimy and like busted. So obviously these cases are not really worth anything or all that good, but maybe that means they've protected the games a little bit, because yeah, actually this game looks really clean inside, like the pins and stuff anyway. But this is Days of Thunder, so it's a racing game. I don't think that one's worth anything really. We've got Captain Skyhawk, again, I don't know. Maybe you guys are watching this thinking, holy crap, you've just made, you know, $100. We've got the original Ninja Gaiden game. I know this one's probably worth about like 20-ish, I think. So that's cool. We've got, I think it's pronounced Faxanadu or something like that. Anyway, I think this is, again, about a $15 game, probably. Pretty good game from what I remember. I actually remember playing that one as a kid. We've got Hulk Hogan and WrestleMania. Sorry for even doing the voice, but we joke about wrestling in this household a lot, just on how ridiculous it is. But we've got Double Dragon, the original, and this is actually a really clean looking card. So I actually do already own this one, or I'd be keeping it for myself, but I think that's probably $15, $20 as well. We've got the original Ninja Turtles. So yeah, these NES games, like the ones that weren't on the top or the bottom, that were kind of in the middle of the stack, like the cartridges look really clean. The labels are pristine. So I mean, you know, there's some money even in these $15 to $20 games if they're in this kind of condition. Really, really nice. And we got a nice copy of Tetris as well. I mean, again, not huge money, like $15 maybe, but it adds up and it sells pretty quick. And then we've got an original of the Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. And honestly, this might be the cleanest, newest looking copy of this game I've ever seen. Wow, there's a tiny little bit of label creasing on the side there, but yeah, like, I mean, it's shining. It is shiny. So that's cool. I'm gonna guess in those, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I had to guess in these 9 NES games, just assuming we've got an average of like, you know, even $10 a piece, there's $90 there, but I know that a few of them are more than that, you know, they're $20 games or so. And then this is what I could see in one of the photos. So if anybody sees that, and you recognize what that is, that's boxing gloves, meaning that that is Punch-Out. Now, is it Punch-Out or is it Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? So Mike Tyson had a Punch-Out game on the NES, and then it was kind of like delisted or pulled or something when he went to jail. And it is in fact Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. So this is the harder version to find. And yeah, I mean, this is an easy $60 anyway. So it looks to be in really, really nice condition. Just a tiny little bit of crud in the corner there, but that'll wipe off no problem. The label is like pristine. Yeah, I mean, this is again an easy $60. So I don't even know what we were at. I think we had said something like $325. Call that 90, even though it's like way more than that probably. You know, we're at $415, we'll call it $475 here. And that's just the games and the consoles. And there isn't much in the rest of the box. I'm gonna be honest with you, the rest of the box has like some controllers and cables and stuff, and a lot of it is pretty grimy, but some of it might be salvageable. I don't know. Let's take a look. And yeah, like this is where we can tell some of this stuff was, you know, was not as well protected as others. So we have here, cable looks in good condition, but this extremely dirty turbo joypad for, I guess this is for the NES. I don't know, but yeah, that's nasty. So that needs to be cleaned up. Probably should be wearing gloves, but it looks like it's mostly just like dirt from a basement or something. So we've got a Sega Genesis controller. Obviously, that would go with the console. If the console doesn't work and I sell that for parts, I can get 15 bucks for this, no problem. Down here, it looks like the wires are frayed, so this likely isn't going to work, but in the event that it does, we've got this kind of dirty and faded NES Max, so a little turbo controller. It looks like maybe this like D-pad thing is just completely screwed as well, so this might just be garbage, but it's fine if it is. We have, yeah, this is an NES controller that is like taped and crap and junk there. So we won't even worry about that. We've got the Sega, oh yeah, here we go. So here's the Sega RF switch with the antenna and stuff. But as you can see, the cable has been cut. And I don't know, at some point it looks like somebody tried to like electrical tape it together. I have spares of all this kind of stuff anyway. Whenever I'm in like Value Village or something and I see these things hanging on the wall, I just grab them for a couple bucks. So like honestly, I don't even care if I don't have the hookups or whatever. But here is a random AV cable. I don't know what it goes to. Here's a Super Nintendo controller that does appear to have some tape around the top there. Don't know if it's going to work. I'll clean it up and try it out. If it works, great. You know, it's still usable and sellable in this condition. Looks like that's the Sega power adapter. That looks like it's okay. Hey, here's a throwback and here's a display of age. Does anybody remember this thing? So this is from way back in the day when you had to hook up your like, so you would use this RF adapter, this RF switch, and like connect to this thing. And then these little prongs would go in the back of like your UHF TV. So showing my age there. I used to have a VCR and like 2 or 3 consoles all hooked up to a tiny little black and white 10-inch TV using one of those things. Well, a series of those things basically. Let's see what else we got here. We have, okay, we've got another RF switch. This one looks like it's in much better condition. Looks like this might be for the PlayStation actually, because I think that's the PlayStation end. So yeah, so you can go to either AV or antenna. Or wait, yeah, that's the AV, and this goes to the TV. That's right. Haven't seen some of this stuff in a while. Looks like a very heavily taped up. Oh wow. Okay, yeah. This is completely junk. The PlayStation controller. That's fine. And that's the power cable for the PlayStation. Ouch! Piece of metal holding this one together. Cool. That's the Nintendo AC adapter. So I mean, all of this stuff honestly can still be parted out. Like Nintendo OEM AC adapter could be 25 bucks. You know, this zapper gun that actually looks like it's still in good condition. I just sold one of these for $15. There's a PlayStation 1 memory card in here that's, you know, easy 10, 15 bucks. And I think that's actually pretty much it in there. So yeah, I'm not even gonna count any of this stuff really towards the total. I'm just gonna assume that we're somewhere in that like $475 range before we get to here and whatever can be salvaged. Because again, I do have like spare cables and everything to hook up all those consoles and stuff. And I mean, I will let the consoles go really cheap if they work, but like are like poorly working or something. Then I'll keep my cables and just sell them as for parts or used, like, you know, for parts or repair, and get way less money for them and still make money off of the, still make money off of the games. So it's exciting, you know, obviously there's a lot of work to do cleaning things up and gotta test everything out and stuff, but I mean, this is the kind of stuff I don't mind throwing $150 at because there's enough here that I can't lose. And it's stuff that I enjoy working with. You know, I like playing around with video game stuff. So I think there's good money here. And, you know, I think there's probably close to like $300 in profit after fees. And so that's basically, yeah, turning $150 into like $450 after fees is kind of what I'm thinking. Although, you know, we gave some conservative numbers there, and it could be a little bit worse than that, but that's okay. I'm still happy with that. Good inventory to have. Unfortunately, you know, we're already halfway through December, so like this stuff isn't gonna get out in time for Christmas and stuff, but that's okay. People are always spending money in the new year. Actually, January is typically my best month, to be honest. People get money for Christmas maybe, or they're not spending their money on other people for Christmas presents, so they start buying for themselves again. And yeah, it's a good time. So anyways, that was that. It was an exciting little haul today. Glad to share it with you. I'm going to go wash my hands, put this stuff away, and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.